special occasion, or just celebrating the joy of having your family together. So get a pack or two of Maid Marian cake flour to make that moist, fluffy, vanilla-flavored sponge cake, donut-shaped cakes, Swiss rolls, and other delicious baked goods. Bring on the smiles with Maid Marian cake flour. Made and packaged not by hand by Nomilco, the National Milling Company of Guyana.
Nomilco, National Milling Company of Guyana.
Stay on top of the news with Kaieteur Radio's main newscast, Monday to Saturday at 7 a.m., 12 p.m., and 7 p.m. You can join us Sunday too for the weekend review at 10 a.m. Remember to stream us online at www.kaieteurnewsonline.com or the MyTuner app, Radio Garden app, and you can also join us on Facebook at Kaieteur Radio. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good evening and welcome to this evening's newscast on Kaieteur Radio. Kevin Smith here. Let's get to the news in detail. Today marks 1 year since ExxonMobil began producing oil at their Liza 1 operations. And while some may want to commemorate the occasion, fact is that it is a sad day for Guyana. In fact, aside from the country being ill-prepared to manage the sector, ExxonMobil continues to harm the environment by flaring billions of cubic feet of natural gas, toxic gas, at their Liza 1 operations. What's even more concerning is that to date, the U.S. oil giant has not initiated any remedial measures to repair their ineffective gas compressor, which led it to flaring, nor is there any date in sight for flaring to be reduced to zero. We had reported in November 16th that head of the EPA, Sharifa Razak, had provided details which showed that Exxon had ramped up flaring after it had flared 16.496 million standard cubic feet of gas per day in October, an increase from the 15 million cubic feet per day. In other news, from a simplistic view, it may be a major achievement 1 year since oil production started. However, it could be far from the truth, as the reality is that Guyana has been operating without even half of the fundamentals for the efficient governance of an oil and gas industry. Even before production began, the country benefited from lessons shared by the World Bank, the IMF, the United Nations Development Programme, Chatham House, the Natural Governance Institute, and the IDB, and a slew of others. These organizations handed to Guyana critical recommendations on how to gear up to handle the influx of revenue from the looming oil sector, along with prudent advice to help mitigate significant value loss and corruption safeguards. But 1 year later, key pieces of advice given have not been acted upon. In other news, a man is now dead after he was struck on Friday by a pickup owned by the Ministry of Housing. The pedestrian has been identified as 27-year-old Vijay Dudnot of Sedam Diamond Squatting Area. The man was reportedly struck down by the ministry's vehicle just around 18 hours 45. According to police, the driver of the pickup, who resides at Large Housing Scheme, claimed that Dudnot ran into the path of the vehicle. He told investigators that he was heading north towards Georgetown along the Diamond Public Road on the Western Carriageway. In other news, the ICJ yesterday ruled that it has jurisdiction to hear the Guyana-Venezuela border case. The 12-3 decision of the 15-member bench of the International Court was live-streamed via the court's website. President Irfan Ali declared the landmark judgment handed down by the ICJ in the border controversy case a win and testament to what can be achieved through cooperation. And now let's tell you, over the last 5 years, the International Monetary Fund has been one of Guyana's key partners in developing the technical capacity that is needed to properly govern the oil and gas sector. In addition to this, the IMF has been at the forefront of highlighting many loopholes in Guyana's oil deals, as well as its legislative and regulatory framework, which can aid in mitigating significant value loss. In this regard, it has produced several reports between 2015 to now that offer critical recommendations that should be adopted. In spite of the prudent advice it has offered in these documents, there has been no significant application by Guyana's political leadership. And moving on, while former Minister of Natural Resources and AFC Chairman Raffle Trotman has conceded that the Stabroek Block Agreement is lopsided and therefore warrants an international investigation, leader of the AFC Kemraj Ramjatan is of the belief that that agreement is one of the best decisions the coalition has ever made. Ramjatan made these and other utterances on Thursday evening on a Facebook pre-recorded video where he made relations between the Guyana-Venezuela issue. Today, there is no evidence to show that that controversy played any part in the deliberations, and that excuse came after the $18 million signing bonus was exposed. Ramjatan even labeled this paltry $18 million signing bonus as an achievement, but research shows that this money on the lower end out of similar oil funds. And finally, let's tell you the 26 Haitian nationals recently been at the center of suspected smuggling or human trafficking controversy have left the country. This was confirmed by their attorney at law, hired by the Association of Haitian Nationals, Darren Wade. His confirmation came after reports surfaced that the 26 nationals had disappeared from the hotel they were staying at on South Road, and persons saw two minibuses pick them up. The Haitians were picked up by authorities within the period of November 7th and November 8th.
And that's the news of the moment. Remember to get the full details of these stories, pick up a copy of the Kaieteur News. And don't forget, you can catch us on the MyTuner app as well as the Radio Garden app. You can also keep up to date by liking our Facebook page at Kaieteur Radio and subscribing to our YouTube channel, Kaieteur Radio Livestream. Oh, also